300 years ago, the town of Mawa, back when it was once known as New Barbados, a man named Baron Victor von Ravenscroft had come to the village as a hero. Using his immense wealth and scientific knowledge, he had brought an end to a dire famine that ravaged the highlands of New Jersey for over 2 years. The Baron had successfully returned New Barbados to normal and also brought great wealth to the region thanks to his efforts. But nothing is truly as it seems, for dark times had come to the colonies and the Baron had foreseen the events that would cause the Salem witch trials and moved away from his previous home in Arkham, Massachusetts to escape. He took with him all his knowledge and all his belongings, including his own home, Ravenscroft Manor. He believed that New Barbados held the key to his work, and if he solved the famine and proved to be an ally to its citizens, that his work could continue on in peace and without the superstitious people that he had dealt with back home. But, like all things, success brings enemies. A vengeful townsman, who was once the most successful farmer in the village, decided to take revenge upon this newcomer and spread awful lies that the joyous exterior of Victor von Ravenscroft was hiding a dark sorcerer who had been using citizens for his experiments and even sacrificing some to an eldritch creature that dwelled within the bowels of the manor. The villagers paid no heed to these ravings, and over time, the villager was nothing more than a rabble-rouser. That was before the dark times. Shortly after these beguiling stories started to sweep the area, many strange people sought out the Baron. Some to get to the bottom of these stories, others to see if the Baron would teach them his success. Publicly, the Baron would dismiss the supernatural claims, but the same vengeful townsmen had witnessed these people returning back to Ravenscroft Manor at night, never to be seen again. One night, however, the daughter of the mayor had gone missing, and this same townsman put the blame directly onto the doorstep of the Baron, and using the mayor's emotions for his own benefit, would give permission to assemble a mob to search Ravenscroft Manor, in an act that to this day the descendants of that mob wish had never happened. A battle ensued that no story of its events could possibly do justice to the horrors that befell those who entered the manor. The mob was overtaken by some unseen force inside, unleashing the sounds of screams and horrors the likes of which were not meant for mortal ears. The Baron's voice could be heard echoing through the walls, causing the ground to quake violently and the manor itself began to glow in otherworldly purple light, ending with the horrific bellowing of some immense creature whose roar shook the town to its very core. But with an immense clap of thunder, all went silent, and the Baron was taken down. The surviving mob dragged the Baron himself out in chains and marched him into the very center of his courtyard and began to tie him to a massive oak tree in the very center. The youthful look of the Baron had now vanished, and underneath showed a much stronger and older man. His eyes like balls of fire that glowed with the same purple light as before. But now, the Baron, in his rage, took this moment to place a horrific curse on the town and all the citizens in it, that as the town had risen up against him, that he and his followers would rise from the dead and make all those responsible pay for their actions and last for generations to come. Upon the Baron's last words, the same vengeful townsman threw a torch at him to finally bring an end to the Baron's dark sorcery. Defiantly, the Baron began to laugh evilly into the night. But he could not escape his fate. And as the fires began to engulf him, in his last breath, a wave of purple light exited his body like an unholy beacon to the night sky, while a mass of dark tendrils began to leach into the ground. The horror of Baron Victor von Ravenscroft was no more. It has been 300 years since the Ravenscroft curse was placed on the township of Mawa. 300 years and no one has dared enter the old haunted palace of Baron Ravenscroft. Until now. On autumn nights, screams can once again be heard from Ravenscroft Manor, and it is up to you to investigate. For only those that were born in Mawa may stop the Baron. As you must descend into the mouth of madness at your own peril, you must stop the Baron and his eldritch terrors once and for all. For humanity itself may depend on it. Break the curse, or become a part of it. Ravenscroft Manor awaits. Ha 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 ha!